The mind of Warren Kroll, known to everybody as Jimmy, the trainer of Bet Twice, went in his mid-60s for the first time. He's got a real shot at one of the classics.
Certainly he'll have a better chance now after having that race in Kentucky. The horse will benefit from that. He hadn't run in 4 weeks, and he's got a 16th left to go, and he's also got less traffic. He'll be tough today.
What about, there's Dave Johnson getting ready to do his call up there, looking at all those colors that he puts down, and he told us in Kentucky, remember, that he kind of associates each horse with some kind of crazy thing, so we'll remember the names, the numbers, and the colors. That is a really hard job. The starting gate being put into place. There is Eric Blind, the starter from a family of starters. His uncle Eddie Blind was the starter here for more than a quarter of a century, and I think some of the other relatives are assistant starters, and what a tough job that is, being an assistant starter.
And certainly the pressure is on today with a race of this national importance, but he does a good job.
What do you think about that slow work the other day of Ali Sheba?
Jim, Jack put it in very good perspective. The exercise rider had blown out a filly for Jack earlier who ran yesterday. He went entirely too fast with her, and the filly didn't run well yesterday. So he really kind of laid down the law, don't go too fast with this colt. And the boy was more cautious. And frankly, as an exercise rider who's done the same thing myself quite a few times, it's a very easy mistake to make. The horse did it easily, though he wanted to do more. So I don't think it was an indication that that was the best he could do.
And don't you get the feeling that Jack still really does have a faith in this horse? I wouldn't trade for any other horse in the world.
He's very confident. I don't know how the press has taken the attitude that he's not as confident. He said that he had the right to be a little cocky before the Derby because he wasn't the favorite. The pressure's on him now, and he's just being a little more circumspect.
I think Lynn Swan has Bob Levy with him right now, the owner of Bet Twice. You got him? There he is.
Yes, certainly do, Jim. Thank you. And Bob, a lot of people have been talking about the race in the Kentucky Derby, how Bet Twice was bumped around, and that he might have won the race had he not been bumped. How do you feel about that way?
Well, I don't know about that, Lynn. I think the best horse won that day. He ran a remarkable race, Alashiba. We ran a good race, and today's another day. It's 2 weeks later, a different racetrack, and it'll be a different kind of race, and we just hope we do well.
How do you assess it with the smaller field in Bet Twice's position?
Well, the smaller field's better for all of them. There won't be as much bumping around. Everybody will have a good shot. And I think it'll be a truer run race. I don't think that it's as easy to get bumped around in a 9-horse field as 14. And I think this is a good racetrack. This racetrack's real good. All the horses have liked it all week. And I think it's going to be the best horse will win it. And we just hope we got a shot.
When Bet Twice was coming down in home stretch in the Derby, what was going through your mind? It looked like he might have had it made.
Well, yeah, especially when that horse stumbled behind us, and we were a length and a half in front of the 8th pole. I thought that it would take a remarkable horse to run us down the last 1/8 of a mile. And Alashiba that day was a remarkable horse. He deserved to win. He ran a great race, and any horse that could beat us that way deserved it. And I just hope today it turns out different. But he's an awful good horse, Lynn.
Okay, he's an awful good horse, and the Preakness is another race, and good luck to you this afternoon.
Thanks very much, Lynn.
Okay, Jim?
One of the fine racing family, the Leaveys of Philadelphia, who own the Atlantic City race course, among other things. They've paid their dues. They've been in this sport a long, long time, since Bob's dad and mother before him, and this is the biggest day they've had. The Preakness record, 153 2/5 by Tanks Prospect, 1985, is the official record, but so many unofficial watches caught Secretariat a tick faster than that most people consider Secretariat's run to be the fastest ever here. The official clock seemed to be malfunctioning that day. So,
there we're looking at Harriman, the only Maryland bred in the field. He likes to lay close to the lead. He'll be sort of, I guess, the secondary speed in this race behind looking for the big one. And he's trained by Charlie Peoples, who's trained for Bayard Sharp for the 27 years the man's been in the business. And that's kind of a record in itself, Jim.
An old steeplechase rider, like Scotty Schulhofer.
Yeah, that he is. A hunting enthusiast and certainly the sentimental local favorite.
There is number 9, Crypto Clearance. Remember, that's the Chicago favorite of the Tynowitz family, and lots of support for him. It started yesterday morning, it seemed to me, and it's been building ever since. Here are the odds, the final odds. Bet Twice, 9-2. Harriman at 45-1. Phantom Jet at 18-1. Could be a factor. No More Flowers at 30-1. Looking for the big one at 13-1. Remember, he should lead in the early going at least. Moving along, Ali Sheba at 2-1. Gulch at 7-2. Avies Copy 23-1. Crypto Clearance 5-2. Gulch has a little local connection. You know, his dam was Jamila, who was the money-winningest Maryland filly of all time.
A very hard-knocking filly. Unfortunately, she died a year or two after Gulch was born, foaling a full brother, I believe. But she certainly was a tremendous filly here in Gulch. Looks very well today. He won the Wood Memorial, and certainly the distance should be no problem.
There's Craig Perret and Bet Twice. Moving into the one hole. You'll be looking down that line. You'll be hearing the starter and the noise in there. And you're hearing the call from Dave Johnson. All right, Dave, it's yours.
Harriman with Vince Pacelli Jr. moving into line. Nobody has a better view than you do as we watch them get ready for the 112th running of the Preakness.
Somebody get on gate. Okay, everybody take it easy now.
Just 3 more to move in. Everybody acting very nicely. Starter blind is ready to send him on the mile and the 16th route of the Preakness.
Donnie, thanks spread and fun.
And now Gulch is in. Crypto
Everybody
Clearance, who
relax.
was
You got one
blocking in the
back coming
Derby,
in on the outside.
is not this afternoon. That might be a